welcome to this REACHLaw Deep Dive. Today we're focusing on artificial intelligence within the European Green Deal.
Yes.
Specifically, we'll be looking at how AI is actually benefiting the chemical industry. Areas like, regulatory compliance and sustainability.
That's right. And our discussion is grounded in a study done for the European Parliament's Special Committee on AI in the Digital Age. We're aiming to really unpack the key insights from that research regarding AI's potential here.
Exactly. So the core mission really is to understand the practical ways AI applications can help push the chemical sector towards, well, a greener path. And also, we need to touch upon the challenges involved, the practical side of things.
Absolutely. So first off, the study really flags up AI's power in handling huge data sets. This gives us a much more nuanced picture of the environmental challenges the chemical industry faces.
More nuanced how?
Well, by allowing for better monitoring of environmental impacts, tracking trends more effectively. And what's quite interesting is combining Earth observation data, satellite data, aerial sensors with AI. That synergy, it offers the potential for much more precise, timely environmental monitoring. It could reveal patterns, correlations that maybe we wouldn't spot with traditional methods.
Right. Seeing things you might otherwise miss. So this better information obviously helps with planning decision-making.
Precisely. Strategic environmental planning, making informed choices, and overseeing the policies that affect the chemical sector. It's all built on good information.
So AI provides this powerful lens for large-scale environmental data. How does that translate into, let's say, concrete sustainability improvements for the industry?
Well, thinking bigger picture, this enhanced data analysis definitely supports the chemical industry in developing more sustainable business models. It's about better information feeding into decisions.
Okay.
And beyond that, AI applications can also help optimize how resources are used in related sectors. Think agriculture, for instance. More efficient use of water, pesticides, fertilizers there. That has a knock-on effect for the chemical supply chain.
Ah, right. Could reduce demand for certain chemicals, maybe lessen the impact of their production, a sort of ripple effect?
Exactly. A ripple effect of efficiency gains.
Okay, that makes sense for connected sectors. But looking inside the chemical industry, how can AI help build, say, a more circular economy?
Yeah, that's a really significant area. AI can seriously strengthen the move towards circularity in chemicals. One key application is in ecodesign.
Ecodesign.
Yeah, AI can process vast amounts of data on materials, their life cycle impacts, This helps pinpoint design choices that prioritize things like durability, recyclability, using fewer hazardous substances.
I see. So designing things to be greener from the start.
Right. And then there's the end-of-life stage. AI can optimize how materials are managed, inspection, sorting, separation, disassembly for reuse. There was that accelerated metallurgy project, for example. It used machine learning, a type of AI, to predict material properties and find non-toxic metal alloys designed specifically for reuse, minimizing waste. That's a tangible example of the potential.
So it seems AI goes beyond just tweaking existing processes. It can actually influence how materials are designed and managed fundamentally.
Precisely. And building on that, AI also offers real advantages in optimizing chemical supply chains, which are often very complex.
How so?
Well, it can efficiently analyze unstructured data, things like supplier reports, news, sustainability certificates. This helps companies select and monitor suppliers based on, say, their sustainability performance.
Okay, vetting suppliers more effectively.
Yes. And also, near real-time tracking of inventory and purchasing patterns powered by AI allows for much more accurate demand forecasting.
Ah, so less guesswork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which helps avoid overstocking or those urgent last-minute orders. Both of those can lead to waste and extra transport emissions.
Reducing waste across the supply network, that sounds like a significant win. What about other operational improvements AI offers for companies focused on sustainability and compliance?
Predictive maintenance is another big one. AI systems can analyze sensor data from inside chemical plants, looking for subtle signs of potential equipment problems before they become major failures.
So catching issues early.
Exactly. It's proactive. This improves safety, obviously, but also environmental performance by cutting the risk of leaks or spills. Plus, it extends the life of the equipment.
Makes sense.
And another point, AI can be really useful for detecting and predicting methane leaks from gas pipelines or compressor stations.
Okay, and that's relevant for chemical companies involved in gas production or transport.
Yes, very relevant given methane's high global warming potential.
These operational benefits seem pretty substantial. The study also mentioned Optimizing energy use in buildings and advancing smart manufacturing. How does AI fit in there?
It does. For chemical companies with large facilities, AI can monitor and optimize energy consumption in their buildings. That aligns directly with the Green Deal's energy efficiency goals. And in smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0 type solutions supported by AI help integrate data across the whole value chain. This allows for really thorough tracking and monitoring of components, materials, right through their life cycle. That data is invaluable for both compliance and finding sustainability improvements.
Now, the study mentions the EU's strategic focus on AI. It doesn't detail a specific AI continent action plan, but it does talk about things like the Digital Europe program and Horizon Europe. How do these connect to the chemical industry's green transition?
It's important to see those EU initiatives as catalysts. They're designed to boost investment, research, innovation, and adoption of AI across key sectors. And that includes industries like chemicals, which have a significant environmental footprint and are, well, central to the Green Deal's aims.
So they create a supportive environment.
Yes. And the focus within the proposed regulation on data governance, on creating data spaces for environment, energy, agriculture, that's particularly relevant. These data spaces are meant to make relevant data more accessible, more interoperable.
Which in turn helps develop AI solutions.
Exactly. It facilitates building tailored AI solutions for the specific challenges in chemical regulatory compliance and sustainability, simply by making the necessary data easier to work with.
That paints a picture of supportive infrastructure. But the study also flags up some potential challenges, some things we need to keep in mind.
That's right. It's not all straightforward. We need to consider systemic effects.
Like what?
Well, the rebound effect, for instance. Efficiency gains from AI could, paradoxically, lead to increased overall consumption, which might cancel out some environmental benefits.
Okay. That's a tricky one.
It is. And we also have to account for the resources AI itself uses. Developing and running AI systems takes significant energy, raw materials for the hardware, data centers.
Right, the footprint of AI itself.
Yes, although data center energy efficiency is improving, especially with these hyperscale facilities, it's still a factor to watch.
And what about the rules, the regulations? Is the current framework ready for the environmental side of AI in chemicals?
That's a really key question. The European Artificial Intelligence Act, as it stands, mainly focuses on health, safety, fundamental rights. It's crucial legislation, but it doesn't currently have specific binding rules targeting environmental risks directly unless they pose an immediate threat to human health.
So there's a gap there.
The study suggests that we need further development of methods to specifically assess and control environmental risks from AI. We need a more holistic approach in the regulations for this.
Okay, so progress needed on the regulatory front, and presumably in research too, to really harness AI for the Green Deal in this sector.
Precisely. We need to make sure AI research that could contribute to the green transition gets prioritized, even if the economic payoff isn't immediately obvious. That means dedicated resources in EU research programs.
All right.
And also, while some EU member states are focusing on AI for Green Deal goals in their national plans, better coordination between them would really help maximize the impact, avoid, fragmented efforts.
The study does list some supportive EU initiatives already in place for AI and sustainability goals. Could you maybe highlight a few key ones?
Sure. The EU Digital Strategy and the White Paper on AI both explicitly state that AI is a critical enabler for the European Green Deal. That sets the direction.
Okay.
Then you have various funding programs, Digital Europe program, Connecting Europe facility, Horizon Europe, the space program providing financial backing for AI research and innovation in relevant areas, including chemical applications for sustainability. There are also specific initiatives aiming for climate-neutral, energy-efficient data centers by 2030. Things like the ecodesign regulation and the energy efficiency directive play a role there.
Right, addressing the footprint issue we mentioned.
Exactly. And finally, the EU taxonomy regulation for sustainable investment now covers data processing and data centers. This really pushes attention towards the sustainability of the digital infrastructure that AI relies on.
It sounds like the EU is trying to tackle this from both angles then, encouraging AI for sustainability while also managing AI's own environmental impact.
That's a good way to put it, yes. Integrating AI into the chemical industry holds, significant promise for advancing both compliance and the wider sustainability goals of the Green Deal. But as we've discussed, actually realizing that potential means carefully considering energy use, resources, the systemic impacts,
Yeah.
and having a supportive but also adaptive regulatory and research environment, both at the EU and national levels, is going to be absolutely crucial. That's what will shape a genuinely greener future for chemicals, using AI responsibly and effectively alongside strong data governance.
Indeed. It's a rapidly evolving field, this intersection of AI and environmental sustainability. We certainly encourage you, our listeners, to keep following these developments. Looking deeper into the specific AI applications or the policy initiatives we've talked about today will give you a much richer understanding of how these technologies are actively shaping the future, not just for the chemical industry, but for our collective effort towards a greener Europe. Thank you for joining this REACHLaw Deep Dive.